Assalamu alaikum everyone, Aviation Cadet Sabir Shah from my channel Aviation Cadet 9936. And namaskar to all the unbox, the moody followers who will watch this video. By the way, I'm giving you an open, not challenge, a discussion forum where all the keyboard warriors of Modi media can come up and talk to me. You will find the only person who even replies to you in videos, and that's going to be me. Okay. I'm not an official spokesperson of Pakistan Air Force or government of Pakistan. I am an individual volunteer who does this, replying to Indians media on my own behalf and in the language which you can understand. By the way, you can't even understand English because recently you were talking about the Trump statement about our prime minister. And I couldn't believe it that your big media outlets, famous like, and they presented what? Watch the video first.
Cambodia and Thailand, Pakistan and India would have been a nuclear war. 35 million people said the Prime Minister of Pakistan would have died if it were not for my involvement.
So, bros, a woman without her man is nothing. See the punctuational difference? So you could say a woman without her man is nothing. Or a woman without her, a man is nothing. So you guys cannot even differentiate between that. So what to talk about that? But anyway, I'm keeping this in English just to let you guys know that you guys have a lot of languages, and all the underbucks from different areas of India, they all maybe not be able to speak Hindi, the official language of India, but most of you can speak English. By the way, after China, the largest speaking English country is India, and then is Pakistan. That's a fact. So yesterday I talked about the Indian government's new scam of buying 40 SU-57s and spending over $7 billion. By the way, the unit price of a Su-57 is about $40 to $50 million. So you do the math why this price has gone up to $7 billion. That's where your Ambanis and all those rich people in India, the top 1% of Indian whole economy is actually these wealthy cockroaches, those who being fed on your money actually. And you guys live in slums, and yet these guys are having huge, big weddings for their sons. And look at that son. Anyhow, so that video was to let you guys know that your only option is to buy Su-57s, which you already tried back in times as well, and you quit that program previously as well. So actually, if you see, this Su-57 deal has been in and on for about a decade now. So you think that you're going to get it for in the coming decade? No. And the second point I mentioned about your AMCA program, this advanced medium combat aircrafts, the Indian indigenous fifth generation aircraft. So I compared that with your Tejas, which started in 1983 when I was 8 years old, and yet there are only 40 Tejas, and they have been grounded recently because of the new accident. The third crash of Tejas happened. So keeping that in mind, your Su-57 is at least 2 decades away. But hypothetically speaking, let's see, you guys have Su-57 from today onwards. Today is whatever the date of February 2026 is. You have your Su-57s on Srinagar airport ready to attack Pakistan. What is Pakistan going to do? So let's be factual and talk with the data available in open sources. Pakistan has almost 12 kinds of AWACS, 12 in number, and 3 kinds of AWACS, in which so we have the Saabs, okay, and we have the Chinese, 2 kinds of Chinese variables, and we're getting the new one, KJ500, very soon. Okay, let's see. It's not on the pages on the table. We talk about what Pakistan Air Force has at the moment. And before I go further, keep in mind that my expertise were from 1996 onwards. I left Pakistan Air Force in 1996. So and I have no contacts within Pakistan Air Force to get any kind of information. I don't talk to my corpsmates about whatever the present situation of Pakistan Air Force is, because the biggest weapon Pakistan carries is the element of surprise, and we have given you twice already in this century, 2019 and then 2025, which you underbucks may not know, but your Air Force knows it very well, and they have said it on public occasions as well, but it's hard for underbucks to understand, just like the statement of Trump. So whatever I am saying is based on my personal analysis using the data which is present in the public domain. So imagine if 32 years ago, ex-Air Force pilot of Pakistan has this acumen. Imagine the people serving at the moment who know your capabilities from your toenail till your last hair on the head, from top to bottom, to know everything. So, and same is the case with Indian Air Force. You know all the capabilities of Pakistan Air Force too. But for underbucks, it's from an underbuck to an underbuck. Let call me an underbuck too, okay? A blind follower of Pakistan. But you're blind followers of Godi, Moody, okay, not India. If you were a little sane, you would have avoided all these clashes in recent years by making protests in your own country that you need more toilets, you need more houses, you need more economical progress because you are the third best claimed, fourth biggest economy of the world. But look at the conditions of the people. Same is the case with Pakistan too. We also encourage that Pakistan and India should go on a bilateral economical progresses with each other, have a competition there, not in the war scenario. But you always impose a war on Pakistan, and Pakistan gives you a reply, a befitting reply. So this was the little analysis from a person who has left Air Force 32 years ago. Let's continue. You got Su-57s, and you should know that Su-57 is a stealth aircraft, a fifth generation stealth aircraft. Why have the quotation marks? In my previous video, I have explained why it's not stealth. But for the sake of the argument, it is a stealth aircraft, cannot be detected by normal radars. So what does Pakistan have? J-10Cs. Right now we have them, right? 36 of them. J-10C versus Su-57. No other aircrafts in the air. These two are in the air. Okay. So in this BVR air battle, what happens? The aircraft that sees the other aircraft first and then launches the missile that has the capability to shoot that aircraft these many miles away. Suppose you have great radar installed on J-10C, which can detect Su-57 from 400 miles away, let's say. But you have PL-15, and according to your ex-air chief, we didn't know the capability of PL-15. We thought it was 145 kilometers plus. An ex-Air Force chief saying that. Come on, guys. That's not an excuse for being shot by PL-15, four of Rafales. So even it's detected from 400 miles away, but PL-15 cannot reach to it. It's of no use, right? Same is the case with Su-57. Su-57 can see a target from about 300 kilometers away, okay? Because of its Russian radar, just like ASA radar. It's a very good radar installed on Su-57. But the things it can carry, the missiles it can carry, R-93, and then there is another R-77, and then R-37. The problem with these three missiles is two of them can be into the bay. What makes an aircraft stealth? If you have the missiles launched outside on the outer weapon bay, then the signal from that can be detected by the radars, and it can appear it will be glowing. It will be a sitting duck. So that's why all these fifth generation aircraft, they have an internal bay where they put their weapons. And once the weapons have to be used, the bay opens and the missile is launched. For that fraction of time, the aircraft is non-stealth. But as soon as they launch the missile, the bay is closed and it becomes stealth again. So same is the case with Su-57. Even from 300 miles away, it can detect J-10C. But the problem is the inside bay missiles they would use would not go that far. They are not 300 miles or 300 kilometers, let's say, range missiles. They're again 180 to 210 kilometers. So what disadvantages J-10C has, even detecting first, the same disadvantages Su-57 has. But Su-57 has a outer bay. And on that, you can have the R-37 missiles. And those R-37 missiles have a range of about 300 to 400 kilometers. Okay, really long ones. But the disadvantage of that is that once you carry those weapons on your outer bay, you're not a stealth anymore. See, so your RCS, in a previous video, I've explained that one. Your RCA would be larger, RCSA. The radar cross-sectional area would be larger. Even now, Su-57's RCA, RCSA is larger than J-35 and F-35 and F-22 Raptor and J-20 of China. 0.5 per meter square, but the others, they have 0.01. So 10 times bigger cross-sectional area Su-57 has. So once you're carrying this outer bay weapons, what's going to happen? The AWACS right now, which Pakistan has, they have a 360-degree range. And in 360-degree range, the diameter, not the radius, the diameter is about 400 kilometers. So it can be detected right away. So once it can be detected, now what's J-10C is going to do? Can J-10C shoot? This is called, by the way, the silent kill, in which the radars are passive and it goes towards the target with all the radars off. J-10C has that capability too. So once all the avionics systems, the electronic systems are shut down and it's just moving, you can only detect it with this infrared signature and nothing else, which Su-57 can. But again, the thing is that the AWACS is going to help J-10C in getting closer with the target into the closer range. Now, PL-15Es, or whatever we have at the moment, has a range of 200 plus kilometers. So once the AWACS detects Su-57, the J-10C can be in that area silently, shoot the missile, and leave it to the AWACS or the satellite. Because, Data Link 17, Pakistan has shown the capabilities of the integration of all these systems together. So J-10C can also shoot down Su-57. I'm not even talking about J-35s because we don't have them at the moment. But imagine J-10C has the capability to shoot down Su-57, and in many simulations now, not in a real war, not in a real combat, J-10C and Su-57 both are combat tested, but J-10C has shot down 4 Rafales, while Su-57 has not shot down any of the significant targets like F-16s or F-15s, which Ukraine has. They haven't been able to do that. But from air to ground, it holds a record of about 300 kilometers away strike. So Su-57 has done that. But again, that was a ground target. So while PL-15Es and J-10Cs have shown Rafale their fate, and they can always show the same fate to Su-57s, because remember, it's the pilot, not the machine. So even if you have this capable aircraft, it's not employed well, you are going to get the same result again. Keeping in mind the old strategy and tactics Pakistan Air Force has revealed after the Markai Haq, or in your case, Operation Sindoor, and we call it Operation Vidva Maker, because we made many more vidvas. Vidva means a widow woman. Unfortunately, a war is a bad thing. I always say that. But again, it has consequences, and there is always a bilateral damage. Oh, sorry, collateral damage. Well, it's bilateral too. Both sides lost lives, of course. 40 civilians on our side. We tried to keep it under less and less collateral damage. Well, India has never reported even their military damage. Only besides some from the S-400 operator. Right a few days after his marriage, he got killed. And here's Golder Usman. May Allah be with him. He gave his life at Polari Air Base. So these things happen. Losses are part of the war, as said by a very famous person from your side. So this deal of $7 billion is going to go in vain. And this is the scenario of today, this date. Today is 25th of February, I think. Even in this scenario, if you get Su-57s, you're still going to be shot by J-10Cs again. Let me add a few more. Let me pinch a bit more salt to your wounds. Remember what happened in Rafales, how Pakistani Air Force knew inside out about Rafale aircrafts because of UAE. Thank you, UAE, and thank you to Qatar as well, because both of the countries, they have the Rafales, and we had joint exercises with them. And there were reports that many Pakistani pilots have flown Rafales as well. That was before 2025. And well, you get the idea of the avionics, electronics installed on that aircraft, and once you are in that machine, you know how to evade that. Okay, for a pilot, it's a very easy. I'm surprised. I'm sure that even if an Indian Air Force pilot has been put in an F-16 cockpit, would know a bit about that, how to evade this aircraft by knowing the systems installed on that one. So we mastered that one. About the Rafale. And that's why once the war started, within 40 seconds of the war, once the Chief of Air Staff changed the rules of engagement from defensive to offensive and kill and run. So that was based on the intel from all these countries and Pakistan's joint exercises with them. So to get to kill your enemy, you need to know your enemy. If you don't know your enemy, the element of surprise always strikes you really hard. What about Su-57? Su-57, it's not a totally, built from scratch, unlike J-35 or J-20 of China. Su-57 contains a lot of components from the Su-35, Su-33, Su-30, Su-29, Su-27s, all these because it's a Sukhoi company, from them, like the engines. Engines are, okay, RD-93 is used, and there's another variant of the Russian engine that is used. J-35 also uses RD-93, but the export version of J-35 is not going to use the Russian engines. It's going to use WS-13E or WS-19, even much better engine than RD-93 of Russia. So engines, the airframe structure, the ammunition, the most important thing, which I said just now. That's why I told you that the R-37 cannot be installed internally on Su-57. Avionics and electronics of Su-57s have been upgraded from all the previous versions of Sus. And who is in contact, who is making the copies of those Sus initially, long ago? China. And who is the strategic partner of China? Pakistan. So do you not think that we haven't taken any help from them? If you still think that no, we didn't, then you're a fool living in a paradise of fools. So this was the whole conclusion of how and why J-10Cs can still shoot Su-57 on any given day with present PAF setup. PAF Zindabad, Pakistan, Paindabad. Allah Hafiz.